Hey guys, Ariel over here. Today I want to do a little bit quick video about the flowers around my house because I end up answering a ton of questions about these all summer long. Other than the two whiskey barrels on either side of the door, all of my planters are actually reclaimed lockers from a local gym. They were redoing their stuff and they were throwing out the lockers and getting new ones. So those are old lockers. I laid them on their backs, took the door hinges off, and there's actually still dividers in there for the shelves and whatever, but just filled them with, first I put some rocks that came out of the garden in the bottom just because I didn't really need soil that deep for the roots of anything going in there. So put some rocks in the bottom just so it would take less dirt and then filled it in with dirt. And I was able to get just some topsoil from an extra pile here on this ranch so I didn't have to buy potting soil. So that was relatively inexpensive. Now the lockers, as you can probably see in places, are coming apart because this is 4 years later, and they were made out of particle board, which of course was never intended to be outside in the first place. But they've worked for 4 years, they're still together. We'll see how long they keep working, and at that point they'll be pretty well decomposed and about as broke down as they could be probably. So that has worked really amazing for my planters. Makes a lovely skirting around the house all summer. And I grow flowers because I want them to be beautiful, and a lot of the things are also edible. I pretty much plant the exact same stuff every single year. Partly because I like the same colors, and that doesn't tend to change for me over time, and partly because there's only so many things I can grow because, as you probably know, I've got a fairly cold growing area, even though today is nice and sunny. You know, frost or snow is possible anytime during the summer. So I really only plant things that I know can take a bit of frost. So these are good things for a cold growing zone. Now a lot of these things, if you live somewhere very warm, would be unhappy there, or would work fine as a early spring or late fall flower, but would just die in the summer heat. For me, they work great as all summer flowers. And so let me just go through quick what I've got. I have a lot of herbs in here. I have chives. I've got 5 or 6 of these now. These are about to bloom. I do cut them regularly to use for cooking and so on. Then I've got all over the place, I've got different pansies. I've got, you can probably tell my favorite colors are like the purpley blues, yellows, and whites. So I've got yellow, white, and blues and purple pansies, but they are all over the place here. I have some lobelia. It's this little tiny blue flower. It's one of the few flowers that are actually true blue. Most things called blue in the flower world are actually some shade of purple. But as it grows, it's going to get more of a trailing down over there. The little white fluffy flowers are called alyssum. They smell really sweet. And they also are going to trail down over as the year goes on. As will this bright yellow leaf you can see. This is called creeping jenny. A couple years ago I'd got a few plants and I keep dividing them because they actually winter here. And so now I've got creeping jenny all along all my pots, and it again will trail down through the course of the summer, and it gets a little tiny yellow flower, but you almost can't see it, so you grow it mostly for the foliage. Then I've got a little bit of nemesia, which is this fine purpley one, and I've got actually a yellow nemesia. I think it was a new variety. I thought I'd try one of those this year. More chives in the middle here, and again the same things just kind of repeat. There's more pansies, more alyssum. I do have marigolds. There's a little one in here, but it's kind of hard to see there because he's not very big yet. They're the one thing that really can't take a lot of frost, so I plant them because the bugs don't like them. A lot of the bad bugs that tend to deter from munching on my flowers. But some years they do get frozen out and the marigolds just die. Everything else can take frost. Come on down through here. I've also got some snapdragons, which don't look like anything right now. They're really short little green plants, but by the end of fall, they'll be tall white flowers like up to here that you've probably seen in some of my other pictures. And then I've just got more alyssum, more creeping jenny, more pansies. I also plant a few petunias. They can take a little bit of cold, and none of them are really blooming yet, though I see this one has a flower. Again, I've got kind of a silvery white, a dark bluey purple, and a pure white, and those will trail down over the boxes as well and look really pretty. We've got some annual status, which also doesn't have any flowers right now. It just looks like a flat, almost dandelion-looking weed, but that gets fairly high and has a flower that's really great for fresh cut flowers or for dried flowers, and that comes in kind of lavenders and purples and whites. This is a kind of salvia, which is tall and purple. Bees and stuff love that, which is great. And I've got Dusty Miller, which is, again, really short right now, but it's this little silvery leaf, and that will get tall. Again, it doesn't flower, it's just kind of pretty silvery gray-green foliage that makes a nice contrast with everything else. And everything is just repeating on down through here. Let's see if I got anything else here. I've got herbs scattered through here. So I've got one variety of thyme right here. I've got more chives, more chives. I've got several varieties of sage. Like right here, I've got tarragon right here. And I do pick and use all of these herbs for cooking and putting in salads and so on, which makes it nice that they're right outside the door. I've got oregano down here, rosemary, more chives, another kind of sage, a curry plant, several parsleys, another kind of sage that's got a really pretty pinky purple green leaf, more parsley, and on around there. And everything just kind of, like I said, I just keep repeating. I scatter it around through there so that all my flower beds all summer long are all purples and whites and yellows, which are my favorite colors. Some of my friends think I'm boring. I'm not a fan of all the pinks and reds and all those things. And they look really nice against the gray of my house, I think. Colors are obviously some of a personal taste thing. So there's flowers in here that aren't flowering yet. There's plants in here that aren't flowering yet, but that will be in a little bit. And occasionally something does die out over the year or get crowded out, or like I said, if it gets a little too cold, the marigolds will die on me, but other things kind of fill in. And a lot of this stuff is edible. Other than the herbs, you can eat pansies. I don't know if you know that, but they're, they don't really taste like a whole lot of anything, just kind of like a leaf. But if you're making a salad or something, they look really pretty to kind of dress the top of that. So I do use pansies a lot. And I really like the alyssum that smells good, and the marigolds that help keep the bugs down. And then all the various herbs that I eat all year, or some of the flowers I will, cut and make arrangements and give as gifts to other people. So that is what is around my house. And hopefully that answers people's questions about what is in there for the summer. Again, these are things that are really good for planting in fairly cold areas. Some of these plants would not be happy if it was very hot all summer long. So just be aware of that if you were going to just take the list of all the names I said and try to plant them in your area. These are all things that can take, for the most part, a little bit of frost before they die, and some of them do not like heat. Like pansies will just die once it gets too hot usually. But for me, they normally bloom all summer long till we get real snows starting in the fall. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys on a very pretty sunny day today to answer the questions about my flower beds. Thanks for watching, folks. If you're interested in more info on my off-grid tiny house life, check out some of my other videos here. And if you like what you're seeing, click the little picture of my house to subscribe, and then hit the little bell so YouTube actually notifies you every time there's a new video available. See y'all next time.